Hello and welcome to Chapter 3 Test Review for Algebra 2. This first one, how many real solutions? So in order to be a real solution, it has to be on the x-axis. This one only has one real solution right there. This one does not cross the x-axis, so that would have 0 real. Those would be 2 imaginary. And this one has 2 x-intercepts, that'd be 2 real. Solve the following quadratic equations by any method. This first one, I would solve by square roots. So I'm going to add 64, add 64. X squared equals 64. Square root, square root. The square root of 64 is plus and minus 8 because we square rooted, so you need that plus and minus. Number 5, we can square root. Square root. Square root of 36 is plus and minus 6, so we get x minus 5 equals that. But we have to break that apart into 2 separate problems and solve them separately. The nice thing is solving them is the same step for both. I'm just going to add 5 to both sides. Okay. Number 6, same idea, square root, square root. We get x plus 3 equals the square root of negative 16. Well, that would be plus and minus 4i because we have the negative in there. Then, of course, we can minus 3. So we get negative 3 plus and minus 4i. You could split it up, but because I'm not going to be able to combine those, I'm not too worried about it. Number seven, because I have an x term and an x squared term, so I have 3 things, I'm probably going to solve by factoring. So I need to find out what multiplies to 4 that adds to negative 5. That would be negative 4 and negative 1. So we get x minus 4 and x minus 1. And then I use the zero product property. I set each of those parentheses equal to 0 and solve. So my answers are going to be 4 and 1. Same idea here. What multiplies to 49 adds to 14? That would be 7 and 7. So we get x plus 7 equals 0. So we get x plus 7 equals 0. I don't have to do it twice because they're the same problem. Minus 7, so we get x equals negative 7. Number 9, we can minus 4 because you need one side equal to 0. So we have 4x squared minus 8x minus 4 equals 0. And from here, I could quadratic formula it. So we get negative 8 plus or minus the square root of b squared, so negative 8 squared, minus 4 times a times c, all over 2a. Remember the quadratic formula, negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac, all over 2a, when we have ax squared plus bx plus c equals 0. So we can evaluate that in our calculator a little bit. So of course we're going to get negative 8 out front is just going to be positive 8. 2 times 4 on the bottom is positive 8. And we can always do the square root stuff to simplify it. We should get our calculator. Wait for my calculator to load here for a second. Remember, I will have the quadratic formula on the board for you. Come on, buddy. There we go. Okay, so negative 8 squared minus 4 times negative 4. So we get the square root of 128. 128 doesn't have a square root, I'm pretty sure. So we're going to break down 128. The tree, 128, let's go by 2. So that'd be, what, 64 2, 32, 4 and 8, 2, 2, 4 and 2, 2, 2. Pair of twos, pair of twos, pair of twos. So I get 2 times 2 times 2 on the outside, which would be 8. So we're going to get 8 plus and minus 8 square root 2 all over 8. And I can divide all three of these numbers by 8. So I get 1 plus and minus 1 square root 2. You can only divide if it's those three numbers. You cannot divide into the radical when you're doing quadratic formula. Okay, add, subtract, multiply, or divide, standard form a plus bi. So here we're just combining like terms. 3 plus 5 is 8. Negative 2i plus 7i would be 5i. Here we have a subtraction, so let's distribute that as a negative. Keep, change, flip. So we have 6 minus 5i plus negative 4 minus 3i. 6 minus 4 is 2. Negative 5i minus 3i is negative 8i. And here we're multiplying, so 4 times 5 is 20. 4 times 2i is 8i. 7i times 5 is 35i. 7i times 2i is 14i squared. And one more thing you're going to have to remember, anytime we have I squared, we replace it with negative 1. So I get 14 times negative 1 for negative 14. But from there, it's combining like terms. 20 minus 14 is 6. And 8 plus 35 is 43i. Find the discriminant, b squared minus 4ac, and describe the number of solutions. So remember, if we are greater than 0, we have 2 real. If we are equal to 0, we are 1 real. And if we are less than 0, we are 2 imaginary. So b, a, c, so we're going to get 12 squared minus 4 times 1 times 36. 12. Come on. Ugh. Why won't my calculator work? 12 squared minus 4 times 1 times 36. We get 0. So we have one real solution. A, B, C. So we're going to get negative 1 squared minus 4 times 1 times 6. So we get negative 23. So we're going to get 2 imaginary. And we need to get everything to one side here, so we can minus 4x squared. So we get 0 equals negative 4x squared plus 4x plus 24. A, B, C. So we're going to get 4 squared minus 4 times negative 4 times 24. And we get 400. So we would say we have 2 real solutions. So remember, if it's 0, 1 real. If it's a negative, 2 imaginary. If it's a positive, 2 real. Last one, juggler tosses the ball in the air. The ball leaves the hand at 5 feet. So whatever it starts at, that's my h sub 0. Velocity is going to be v. And it falls back to a height of 4 feet. That's going to be my final h. How long is the ball in the air? We are solving for what does t equal. So plug all those things in. We're going to get 4 equals negative 16t squared plus 25t plus 5. Well, we can minus 4 minus 4. we get 0 equals negative 16t squared plus 25t plus 1. And from here, I'd quadratic formula it a, b, c. So we get negative 25 plus or minus the square root of 25 squared minus 4 times a times c all over 2 times a. Let's evaluate the thing inside the radical. So inside the square root, we get 689. Does 689 have a square root? No. Okay. So we get negative 25 plus or minus the square root of 689 over negative 32. So for these, we're rounding to two decimal places. It says right here. So let's split those up into our two potential answers. Or minus. And just evaluate those. So remember, to get a fraction, I can do alpha x. So negative 25 plus the square root of 689 divided by negative 32. And I can do second enter to retype all that stuff. And I just want to change this to a minus sign. So my potential answers are negative 0.04 and 1.60. Considering that these are time answers, this is obviously not the right answer. My answer is going to be 1.60 seconds. Thank you for listening, and I hope you have a great day.